This is Betska the Guru Coach together with Raj Vashisht from Delhi, India, and this is Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders, as you already know. And our fabulous guests today are Gill and Clay Ross, and we are discussing photography and the power of photography. And one of the comments we made during the pause was, where would we be without photography? I mean, think about it. We are recording history. And in the old days, we would go to the Encyclopedia Britannica and we'd look up, well, what does a lion look like? What does a giraffe look like? And today you go on the internet and it's everywhere. And Clay, a moment ago, was just discussing politics. So Clay, take it away. What were you going to say about the power of photography?
The biggest power of photography is that it records the actual event real time. Camera don't lie. If it's happy, if it's sad, if it's a disaster, the camera records it and holds the people who are in charge to account for their actions. Why wasn't this fixed? Why was this allowed to happen? Why are you allowing people to do this? And it gives a true accountability of the actual situation on the ground. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits to people, for the honesty that it holds them to account. They can't lie about it. They've got to say, yes, that did happen. Because the camera said, I was there.
Wow. So no wonder photography is used in courtrooms, right?
Yes. And everywhere. It's a picture does it some justice, but a hand drawing does it some justice, but a camera records it actually as it is.
Yeah,
but
for
at
sure.
the same time, this new movement in AI is very scary. It's how they're producing images that you can find on Facebook or wherever, and they're not true. They're not true.
No.
And I think if it was done as an art, it's one thing, but to claim it any other way is not.
Yeah. One of our local magazines just came out, and as soon as I saw the front cover, I knew it had been done with AI. And you could tell it was so fake, and it wasn't beautiful like a real photograph can be. It was missing that energy, that spiritual energy that a real photograph has. So, yeah, interesting topic. But tell me more about Rhodesia and South Africa, and what were some of the interesting photographic incidents? What did you capture? Like, did you capture, babies being born, or did you, what did you capture there that was fascinating for you?
Betska, before we go on to that, when we were still living there, as I say, we didn't get our first camera until our last 6 months there. And at that stage, films was the only medium that we had in photography there. You could either not get the films, or if you got a film developed, it could take up a month to get the results back. So you never knew what you had or what you didn't have. So the record that we have of Rhodesia is very, very limited, because it was taken with little brownie box cameras or something like that. Our better photography, or more exciting photography, was taken with DSLRs that we beamed back on trips subsequent to that. So, so the Rhodesia aspect of it is very, very limited. The Zimbabwe record, which is predominantly the wildlife, because we were no longer on the ranch, is another aspect. So,
and it's a digital photography when we came to North America that really is what stimulated me into it, because I like computers, and I'm going to show you my first, if it's appropriate now, this hardware that we use. This is my first camera.
I love it.
It was one of the first digital cameras out in the market, and I liked it you could link this to a computer, and through the computer, you could do the manipulation. So this served me really good for the day, but then there was an evolution, and photography is like a downhill slope. Once you get into it and you get hooked, you never stop buying more equipment because you get better. Often you get to have a certain standard of excellence, and I often used to look at National Geographic and say to myself, I can do that. Well, you can't. So then you improving with your equipment and your technique. And this is now what we use.
Oh, so, wow. That's amazing.
Look at the picture, Jill.
How can you
you see the difference?
Oh, that's just too funny. Like, how can you even carry that around? It probably weighs a ton, right? Does it weigh a lot?
It does weigh a ton.
Yeah.
All it is a computer with a lens in front. And it's now digital. So it records the information through the lenses. And the lens is where the big improvement has come in the last 20 years. So this is just a storage media for that picture. You then take it onto the computer where you can develop it. So that's the secret of and anybody starting into photography, this is a good way to start. Get a good little one. There's some small ones out there that have zoom lenses and they can give you good pictures. But then it's the computer inside the camera that holds the data. But then to get more specialized, it's the lenses that you need so that you can do the photograph without being in that animal's face.
Can I tell you a silly story about this camera?
Oh, do tell.
Okay, so we were down, this is many years ago, down in the States, and we were, I don't know if you've heard of Monument Valley.
Yes, go.
Okay, Monument Valley is it's on the border of Utah and Arizona. Very, very arid, and it has these very specific rock formations known as the mittens. So we were doing a tour of Monument Valley, and Clay had taken this camera. I had a bigger camera. And the night before, the once in a year time in that arid desert, there was a bit of rain. But we did this tour, and you have to be out the park by 6 o'clock in the evening. And as we were exiting the park, I suddenly noticed in a puddle on the ground, I could see reflections of the mittens. So we stopped the car, I jumped out, and literally with my nose in the mud and the Clay's camera, because I didn't want to muck up our more expensive SLR camera, I took a picture of the mittens, which makes it look like they're in a massive lake. And that is even on our website now. So we've still got a record of some of the pictures taken with this little camera. So there you go.
Wow. That's still, yeah, exactly. First of all, you had to see the image, right? You had to feel that it was worth photographing. Yeah. Wow.
So anyway, but so this little camera, let me just shush.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Clay.
When people start in photography, and a lot of people get excited and they want to go into photography, start with something like this.
Okay.
According to what you can afford.
Okay.
And then when you realize that you are either good at it or want to do it more and want to pursue the passion, because it does become a passion, then you can start going for something that's a little bit bigger. And then you get your standard of competence will go up and up and up. And also remember that long after the cost of the camera is forgotten, the quality remains.
Ah, beautiful.
So that statement says it all. If you can afford it, buy it. But if you can't, don't.
Right. So a question for you, since you're the techie guy, on this team. Someone who's starting out, because that's what we're talking about, how to start off really enjoying photography as a hobby or as a profession. Do you have to learn you have to take a course on, how to take the photographs and put them on your computer and manipulate them and all that? Do you need to take a course for that? Or what do you do? How do people start with that?
If you can, it's advisable, because it was
Okay.
learn from people who know how to do it.
Okay.
And there's things that on this big camera, there's 400 different variations of settings you can put into it. So you've got to know what you're doing.
Wow.
To set it properly. But on the smaller cameras, they're much more simple. And
yeah.
I started as monkey see, monkey do. And that is, I would see something, and I've used that expression throughout my life. Monkey see, monkey do, is if you see something that you like, copy it. And you will improve with that. Because you will be copying better ideas and other people.
Okay. Right.
And then you go to these people and say, how did you do that? And people are only too pleased to tell you. And that's it. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then you take those ideas and you learn from that, including a course, and that helps. So you must explore all your opportunities.
But there's some really, you can go from some very basic processing things where you can learn how to crop, you can change the lighting, you can sharpen, you can do some things like that improve your end result. I think do you see a view and you take a picture and you come home and it just looks so ho-hum from what you thought you were seeing. So you've got to learn what aspects of that view you want to bring out, or that subject, do you want the whole elephant, or do you just want its eye and tusk, or something like this? So you learn composition, what makes an interesting photo.
Right. Yes, exactly. Okay. So it's advisable to take some courses on how to use your equipment, first of all, or maybe the manufacturer would also offer some suggestions, and also, how to work with the photographs online on your own computer for, as you say, sharpness or add more light or whatever. Last question is, so many people have smartphones. What's the difference between my iPhone and this little camera that you have? What's the difference there?
Smartphones take incredibly good pictures.
Yeah.
But looking at on the screen of the smartphone. So the smartphone screen is only that size.
Yeah.
My computer screen is that size.
Yeah.
And photography is all about gathering of light and pixels. Now, in a cell phone, they have got a very limited number of pixels. Viewed on a small screen, it's good. But when you want to do anything more with it, try and develop it into a picture of an 8 by 11, it'll be fuzzy and not good.
Oh, got it.
And it's the amount of information that you can put into a digital form. The cameras put it into a high resolution. This camera of mine, the pictures come out at 20 megabytes a picture. So that is complete. I can expand the picture up to 20 by 20 in high gloss.
Wow.
Whereas with a cell phone, you can't do that. So a cell phone is good for video, it's very good. And a good place to learn is with a cell phone, that you learn your composition and other things like that. But you can't go much further than showing other people on that cell phone. So it limits of audience that you can do, creativity.
I find, sorry, the difference between the cell phone and the digital camera is, once we put it onto our computer, you've got a filing system. So if you came to me and said, I need a picture of so-and-so, it takes 2 seconds to bring it up in which file it is. On your cell phone, now we've got about 50,000 images on our computer. if you had to go through 50,000 pictures to find the one you wanted on your cell phone, and you just got a little picture of it, it's the management, I find personally, better to do it the way we're doing it than for photography purposes.
Yes,
there's one thing, the Instagram, the happy snappy, those are fine on cell phones. But are they going to be there for posterity? Are they going to be there for publication? Are they going to be there for whatever purposes? Very limited.
Because the cell phone also has killed the production of small cameras. Every company, Sony, Nikon, Panasonic, all had small little cameras. Stop manufacturing them now. They do not exist. If you try and buy a small little camera, you cannot find them. Because the cell phone, very cleverly, has realized that everybody carries a cell phone, which means everybody's got a camera in their pocket. And of course, they do that for personal recording, but you can't do anything more with it. We saw it, a very classic in the rodeo, where you go into a rodeo barn, for example, you've got poor lighting, video lighting, you've got a dark ceiling and a dark floor. Terrible place to take pictures. The equipment we used, we had strobe lights, all electronically synchronized, and cameras that were mounted. So you could get that one shot with a strobe light. And you see people with cell phones there trying to take a picture in a dark room of a galloping horse. It just don't work. So initially when cell phones came in, our business dropped. The monetary side dropped. But in a couple of years, we found that the business came back to us because they used to come to us and say, how can I get that quality? And used as an education thing. A lot of horse trainers would get a picture from us of their student falling off a horse or doing something good or bad, and show the student, this is what you're doing wrong. And it was visual for the kid. So from that side is where our photography is improved substantially.
Very good. Thank you for that.
Remember, photography is the gathering of light. In the dark room, you can't take a picture, but you don't have light.
Exactly. Well, thank you both, Gill and Clay. We could have another hour's worth conversation, I'm sure, around this topic. For our viewers, I invite you to go to cgiphotos.com. Of course, the information will be wherever we are posting our videos and audios. And thank you, Gill and Clay. It's been wonderful. I've learned a lot, and I'm very excited to have you here today, and hope the rest of your day goes very well. Thank you for coming.